Hello, I'm Kristen from Kristen Kane's Style. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I am a style and mindset coach, and I help women simplify their wardrobes so that they can get dressed quickly and easily and love how they look and feel. I take them from stuck and overwhelmed with their wardrobe and their style to a place where it's effortless to get dressed and look and feel amazing. And I don't believe that incredible style should be complicated or expensive to achieve. And so I help women get there. I do one-on-one work with women with a program called Style Therapy. It is one-on-one style coaching that can be done online or in person. And it is essentially a one-day situation. It's a one-day commitment where we deep dive into what's happening in your wardrobe and why you aren't loving getting dressed. And we address all the things. And so I'll drop the link in the description box below so that you can take a look at what is included with Style Therapy and see if maybe it is a good fit for you. Happy to answer any questions anytime. Just let me know if you're wondering something and I will respond. So today I'm going to talk about a topic that I did a video on a little while back, and I got so much feedback from women, both in DMs and in emails and also in comments and over on my Instagram about this topic and about how much it hit home for them that I was asked repeatedly to please go deeper into this. And so since I am currently doing the work of understanding perfectionism in my life, I am happy to do a little bit of a deeper dive into perfectionism and how it affects our style and the way we get dressed and the wardrobes that we build. And so I'm going to break this up into three. It'll be kind of a three-part series because there are 10 surprising signs that you're a perfectionist that I originally did. The original video that I did, I used the 10 surprising signs that you might be a perfectionist that I learned from Sam Laura Brown. Huge shout out to Sam Laura Brown. She has changed my life for real. She has a podcast called The Perfectionism Project, and then she also has a paid coaching program that is called PGSD, for Perfectionists Getting Shit Done. And I joined that last May, and the rest is really history. And I want to make sure I give a shout out to the fact that these are her 10 surprising signs that you might be a perfectionist. And I discovered these a couple years ago and have really been using them in every area of my life to kind of unwind old bad habits that I want to change. And so I think Sam has now boiled this down into fewer than 10. And since I used the 10 when I first did the perfectionist video, I'm going to stick with the 10, and therefore I'm going to make it a three-part video so that I'm not talking about all 10 of them at one time. I'm going to talk about 4 of them today and then 3 in each of the next videos. So if you didn't see yet the original video on perfectionism, I will link that so that you can check that out, where I just go briefly into the ways that perfectionism might be kind of sabotaging your style. A lot of this work around perfectionism, I have learned, has to do with our self-trust and our self-identity and our self-image. Because if we see ourselves as someone who is a perfectionist, for instance, then we often act in support of that because we want to be right. So we continue to do things that make us a perfectionist because that's how we identify. So if we can pay attention to the fact that we might want a different self-image or a different self-identity, and we want to be able to trust ourselves a little more, and we need to learn how to begin to regain that trust, or maybe gain it for the first time ever. And I'll explain a little more what I mean as I go through each of these 4 things, but I just want to give you the idea that a lot of this work, whether it's in your wardrobe or not, has to do with learning to trust yourself and learning to have the identity and the image that you really want, instead of identifying with a version of you that may be outdated and isn't really, getting you where you want to be. So the 4 surprising signs that you might be a perfectionist that I'm going to address today are procrastination, the all or nothing mindset, overthinking, and waiting for the perfect time. So those 4 are all. There are some that aren't quite as pertinent for me personally. Those 4 all are. And so they're easy for me to talk about. So procrastination. So I'm going to give some questions kind of when I go through each of these 4 things. I'm going to add some questions at the end of each one for you to explore on your own. As you may have heard me mention here before, I believe that journaling actually can give us a lot of clarity with regards to what we want out of our style and from our wardrobe and how we want to look and present ourselves. And so I'm going to give you some questions that could be used as journaling prompts. You can think about the questions, and that's fine and that's helpful. But I find when we write, we get answers that we probably wouldn't have thought, because something taps us into our higher self when we write, and those answers can kind of flow through onto the page. And sometimes we're even surprised with what came out because we wouldn't have actually thought that that was the answer. So procrastination is the first one I'm going to talk about. And so that's really just avoiding or postponing. And so if you, this could be showing up for you with regards to your wardrobe. If you are procrastinating and postponing having a wardrobe you love, that could mean that you are procrastinating cleaning out your closet. It could mean that you are procrastinating not going to buy new jeans when you know you need new jeans, or you know you need a new pair of boots, or whatever the thing is that you're putting off. You know that your wardrobe needs some attention and you're not doing it. You keep maybe scheduling it and pushing it off. You're just not making it happen. And so I think the question is, why? Why aren't you taking action? Why does the closet or the wardrobe issue keep getting pushed to the back burner? And how would you feel if you moved it up the list and made it more important and actually followed through? Because procrastination is definitely one of those things that we need to earn some self-trust back, and we need to change the way we identify. If you're quick to say, well, I'm just a procrastinator, then everything you do supports the fact that you're a procrastinator, because you want to be right. And even if you're not trying to be right, you want to be what you say you are. And so you are furthering that procrastination habit by announcing that you're a procrastinator. And so if you can kind of pay attention to that and think, why do I keep putting this off? What part of it is keeping me from doing the work? And then addressing that and just setting a deadline. Like, okay, this Saturday, I'm going to find new jeans. Or next Tuesday afternoon, when my kids are at soccer, I am going to clean out my closet. Or I am going to try to make outfits. Or whatever the thing is that you keep procrastinating with regards to your style, set a deadline and make it happen. And see how that feels. Even if it's one little step, one little win starts to grow the self-trust, so that then we no longer can identify completely as a procrastinator, because, wow, we said we were going to do it on Tuesday and we did it on Tuesday. And so then the next time we say we're going to do something, I'm going to go buy new sandals. You trust yourself that you committed the last time and did it. So now you have created a little bit of a new identity and a little bit of self-trust that says, I'm no longer always a procrastinator. Now, when I say I'm going to go find new sandals, I actually take the time and go find the new sandals. Again, just examples, but the procrastinating, it doesn't make you feel good. If you keep saying you're going to do something with your wardrobe and you don't do it, it just feels crummy. Set a goal, set an intention, decide what the thing is you want to fix, and then set a deadline and do it. The next one, all or nothing. This is, it should be blinking sort of when I talk about it, because this is my biggest perfectionist tendency in all areas of my life. All or nothing. It's in all areas of my life, or most areas of my life. So let's say you want a new wardrobe, but you can't afford one. So you don't even buy one new t-shirt that you like. You want the closets that you see on Instagram that are all, or Pinterest, that are all beautifully organized with beautiful containers and matching hangers and all of that, but you can't afford it or you don't have time. So you don't even pick up the clothes that are on the floor, because you are all or nothing. You might not have all the pieces to make the outfit that you saw on Pinterest that you want to copy. So you're just going to wear sweatpants again, because even wearing some of the pieces isn't enough. It's either all or nothing. If you don't feel like you've ever had a chic put together outfit, then you're not even going to bother trying. If you can't always look put together and chic every single time you get dressed, then you're not even going to bother to try to do it once. Like, you don't want to just look nice on Tuesday, so you're not even going to bother trying to look nice any of the days, including Tuesday. Those are just examples, but that all or nothing mentality comes in strong. Like, I, only want to wear Chanel, and until I can afford to only wear Chanel, I am just wearing sweatpants. And I mean, it's foolish when we look at any of these kind of with a little bit of a brighter lens on it, and bright light shining on it. It seems a little silly to think that you would do the all or nothing, or that I would do the all or nothing thing in my wardrobe, and yet I have done it. So can you find examples of this in your own wardrobe? Are there places where you really can feel, well, if I can't do all that I want to do, then I'm not doing anything? And how is that serving you? And what would it feel like if you just took one step, if you just did one thing and hung up the clothes that are on the floor, and you didn't worry about having a Pinterest perfect closet, and you just hung up the things that are on the floor? That would begin to build that self-trust and begin to change your identity and your image as someone who keeps their closet cleaned up. And then little by little, those things continue to build until you're the person with the Pinterest closet. So the all or nothing mindset is just kind of paying attention to where do you tend to go all the way one way, all the way the other. If you can't have it this way, then you're not even going to take any action. And what little baby steps could you take that would start to get you closer to whatever the ideal dream is that you're working towards? Or you're not working towards it, but you could be working towards it. Number 3 is overthinking. And so overthinking in the wardrobe shows up in a lot of different ways. One of the most common ways I see is that you overthink purchases. So you either don't purchase, where I did this with tall brown boots for years. I just didn't ever have any tall brown boots because I continually was overthinking the decision and overthinking what I wanted and how much money they were and if I really loved them enough. And I wasted a lot of seasons where I could have been wearing great brown boots because I saw lots of pairs that were really plenty good enough, but I was overthinking it. Overthinking also comes up if you're someone who buys and returns a lot, because there is some part of your mind that is thinking you should buy it and then thinking you should return it. It's not quite right, but something convinced you to buy it, but then when you get it home, it isn't right. And now you're thinking about, do I need to return it? It could be the money that you've spent and some guilt that's coming up there. But your mind is so busy that you can't possibly spend time on looking and feeling amazing in your clothing because you're just overthinking all of it. You're overthinking outfit combos. So when you go to get dressed in the morning, you end up in the default outfit because by the time you've tried on 6 or 7 combos and you don't like any of them, it's just too much because you're probably overthinking those 6 or 7 combos that you started with. Any one of them probably would have been amazing. You just were overthinking it. So is all the thinking helping you is sort of the question I would ask there. Like, is there a benefit to all of that overthinking, or are you exhausting yourself? And could you just take a few minutes and think, what is the problem? What am I struggling with in my wardrobe? If I could fix one thing right now, what would it be? And how could I fix it? Our brains know the answers. So if you can identify, if you can slow your brain down with all the chatter and all the busyness and really identify, what is my struggle in my wardrobe? Why do I keep buying and returning? Why do I have such a hard time getting dressed in the morning? And then once you know what the problem actually is, you can decide what the solution is. If the problem is you never actually have time to put the outfits together that you love, then you set aside some time on Saturday afternoon to put together some outfits that you love. And if the problem is that you don't know if you really love it in the store, then either get some help from a friend or a family member who you trust or from a salesperson to make sure you're buying the thing that's actually going to work in your wardrobe, and the overthinking can stop and you can just love your clothes. Number 4 is waiting for the perfect time. And this one hits near and dear to my heart because this has been a huge problem in a lot of areas of my life for a very long time. And by waiting for the perfect time, whether in our wardrobe or in any other area of our life, we are essentially postponing joy. We are essentially holding back what could be amazing until there is this future perfect time or future perfect self that we embody somehow. And then we're worthy of whatever the piece of clothing is or whatever the thing is that we're going to, wear, the outfit, whatever. And so if we can get a handle on the fact that there is no perfect time. The perfect time is right now. We tend to hold back and not wear the fabulous outfit because we think, well, today isn't really a special occasion, so I don't need to look that great. Well, why not? The perfect time is really right this minute. That postponing joy is just sad, really just sad. And it often backfires. And so I think, I had a candle that I absolutely loved, and it smelled like the ocean. And I literally stopped in my tracks when I smelled it lit at Terrain, which is an Anthropology brand. And it was when a Terrain store, brand new, first opened outside of Philadelphia. I literally walked past this candle and walked back and thought, I have to own this. So I bought it and I burned it very infrequently. I was saving it. It was my absolute favorite scent. I don't know what possessed me to think I could not get another one. I loved this candle and I did not utilize it. And then we moved cross country to Colorado in July, and we packed all of the really kind of special things into my husband's car, which was being shipped, so that they wouldn't have to travel in the moving van. And we flew on the airplane. And so my special candle went in a box of really special treasured things in my husband's car to make the trip. And when it arrived, it was completely melted. You could barely see the wick, like barely get to the wick to even light it. It had kind of dripped all down the side. It had this really pretty craft paper kind of wrapper. The wax had dripped down the side, so it wasn't even pretty anymore. And I thought to myself, Kristen, you never enjoyed that candle as much as you could have. And now it's essentially ruined. Like now it's not even, like you can't even really light it if you want to. You've missed your opportunity to enjoy that candle. And so obviously that's not a wardrobe example, but wardrobe examples, there are plenty. I had lots of great pants that I was not wearing, and then there was pandemic and I went through menopause and those pants didn't fit any longer and I had to get rid of them. And I really should have been wearing them when they fit and enjoying them, but some part of me was saving them for an occasion that was better than jeans. And there's no reason for that. And so this waiting for the perfect time, you decide when the perfect time is. So I guess the first question I would ask yourself is, what are you waiting for? Like, what are you waiting for? What do you think is going to change? When will you be more worthy of wearing and enjoying those pieces? What are you saving them for? And I think that, the best way for me to kind of get to that place is, if today was the perfect day, what would I wear? Like if this was that thing I am saving it for, if this was the perfect time, what would I wear today? And then wear that, regardless of whether you're going anywhere, whether it's the perfect day, whatever, and see how you feel. Because this is all a matter of building self-trust and changing our identity and changing our image. And so if we want to be someone who has an incredibly effortless sense of personal style and looks and feels amazing when we get dressed, then we need, in this realm of perfectionism, we need to pay attention to how this is holding us back and preventing us from having the thing we say we want because we're not taking action. And so, I would pay attention to, where are you procrastinating? Where are you going all or nothing? Where are you overthinking? And where are you waiting? Where are you waiting for the perfect time? Because it's all kind of silly. Really, they're clothes and we should be wearing them and enjoying them. We shouldn't be hanging them in our closet until they disintegrate and we've really only worn them once, but now they're out of shape or, have yellowed or whatever the case is, or they don't fit or they're out of style. We should be enjoying them today. And so those are the perfectionist, signs that might be showing up in your wardrobe that I'm going to touch on today. There are 6 more, so I will do 2 more videos and I'll share 3 each, and that'll come out, at some point in the future. But I would love to know if what I've mentioned today, these 4, if any one of these really kind of triggers in you, like, wow, I do that and I would like to stop, and how you're going to go about, changing it so that you can have a new sense of self-trust and self-identity and self-image around being a person who doesn't procrastinate and overthink and go in with an all or nothing mindset or save your best pieces for the perfect time in the future. I'd love to hear how this all, kind of works and feels for you. I'm on Instagram every Tuesday doing a live style Q&A at noon Mountain Time. So if you've got questions, let me know what those are. You can find me on Instagram at Kristen Kane Style. And my website is KristenKaneStyle.com if you'd like to check out how you can work with me one-on-one. I am really glad that you're here. I appreciate your watching. And if you like this video or others on my channel, if you would subscribe or like or comment or share, I would really appreciate it. It helps my channel be visible to other women who might find this information valuable as well. Thanks so much. I'll be back next Friday.